Welcome to NIACC Rewind. I'm Chris Frenz. The NIACC wrestling team placed 7th at the Simpson College Invitational last Saturday. Freshman Yancy Mejias, who is 19-1, placed 3rd at 157 pounds to lead the Trojans. The number 3 NIACC wrestling team returns to action on January 4th at the William Penn Invitational in Oskaloosa. The NIACC women's basketball team topped the Grandview Junior Varsity 117-61 on December 5th. Sophomore Chelsea Jaycox led the Trojans with 27 points. The number 3 ranked women's team, who is now 10-0, will host number 2 Kirkwood Community College at 1 o'clock this Saturday at the NIACC Gymnasium. The number 16 NIACC men's basketball team is now 11-4 overall. They will also host Kirkwood at 3 o'clock on Saturday. NIACC dropped a 85-77 decision to Marshalltown on December 4th and then split a pair of games at the NDSCS Classic on December 7th and 8th. The Trojans topped United Tribes Technical College 109-74 and then lost to NDSCS 89-73. We'll talk with Mark Mohl, the NIACC men's basketball coach, about those games in just a moment. Welcome back to NIACC Rewind. We're joined now by Mark Mohl, the head men's basketball coach. And Mark, we've had a couple of ball games since the last time we've had a chance to visit. Played up this past weekend up at North Dakota. Good thing the shooting wasn't quite as cold as the temperatures, it sounds like, huh? A little frigid up there.
Yeah, we played United Tribes Saturday afternoon, played well, shot the ball very, very well, and then we played North Dakota School of Science, D1, and they beat us, but we learned a lot from that game, and they certainly showed us things we need to work on. They're a very athletic team, did a heck of a job against us.
Marshalltown, of course, is who you played to, another Division I school this past Wednesday. That was a hard-fought ball game, too. I mean, you're certainly seeing a diverse group of teams that you've played here, some different looks, and like you said, some different things you can actually work on here then.
Yeah, we played 4 Division I's right now, and unfortunately we're 1-3, but that's going to happen when you play those schools. It's really disappointing against Marshalltown because I thought we had a really good chance to beat them, but for some reason we don't block out very well, and we're having problems keeping people out of the lane again, and rebounding, same type of thing we've had trouble with in the last couple of years, so that's a big concern, especially with Kirkwood rolling in here Saturday.
Well, and some of those concerns are because of some injuries as well. You got Peyton Plague that's still on the sidelines here with an ankle injury, and then John Hafoka had the broken leg. We'll talk about that here in just a second, but that's got to be a big problem when you got your 2 bigs not able to go.
Well, it's not a good problem to have, but we got Matt Don and Connor Lang stepping into those spots, and they're 6'7" each, but they're not very thick. They're pretty thin kids, and so they're having to learn how to bang a little bit with some of those guys, and we just got to figure out a way to adjust because everybody goes through injuries, and hopefully we have ours now and not at the end of the year, and hopefully nobody has any injuries. You hate to see that, but it's part of sports, and we just got to figure out how to overcome that.
Let's talk about John Hafoka here real quick, too. He broke his leg up in the Riverland ball game, which was a major break. It wasn't just, it was almost a compound fracture as the bone almost came through the skin.
Yeah, it was a bad deal. First of all, John's about as nice of a young man as we've ever had or I've ever been around. And in fact, when we got to the hospital, the first thing he asked was how the team did. So John always puts the team first and himself second. He needs to start doing it the other way around a little bit here. And yeah, it was a horrible break in his leg. And we got him up to Rochester. They did a good job fixing him up, and the outlook is good for him down the road. And we certainly miss him, and what an outstanding young man. So it's a bad break, but John, with his attitude, to bounce back, and all of his goals are still right out in front of him, what we talked about all season. So bad loss, but outstanding young man.
And what I've liked to, I guess some of the positives that came out of it, what I'd like to see is that how your team has rallied around him, though, too. I mean, they do a great job of helping him out, opening doors, making sure he gets through the food line. I mean, he's a big guy that's can't move real fast right now.
Yeah, I think part of the reason I think our guys in it seems like the whole NIACC campus is so anxious to help is they know what kind of young man he is, and if that injury would have happened to anybody else, he'd be the first one there to help him. And he obviously comes from an outstanding family with his mom, dad, and brother, and just an outstanding young man. Like I said, and I can't say enough positives about him. But yeah, our guys have helped him out, and but deservedly so, like I said. But we'll move on and hopefully get him back towards the end of the year, and he's a huge part of our team.
All right, let's move on to the Kirkwood game coming up on Saturday. Now, this is a big one going into the holiday break, of course, but Kirkwood's always going to bring tough, hard-nosed, quick kids. I think that's what we are, too. I mean, it's going to be one of those games that it's anybody's game.
Well, it's going to be a good game. At least we hope so. But yeah, they bring toughness. They bring athletic ability. They're long. They're well coached. They're going to probably play a little bit different this year. They have a different coach, Brian Peterson. But one thing about Kirkwood, they're always going to be there. And if you expect to be a factor in the race, that's a team you're going to have to compete with. And we're down 0-1 right now in the league with a home loss. And if we go 0-2 at home, that's a pretty tough go for the rest of the year. But it's not a end-all game, but it is a game we feel like we need to win if we're going to stay in the race at all.
Are you still trying to search for maybe that five guys that work together? Or do you think you got that? Are we close to kind of honing in on a good rotation? I mean, that's what this early part of the season is all for.
Well, we had Peyton back healthy for a little bit, and we felt like we're starting to get a rotation going. Then we lose Peyton and John, and we got some guys sick here and there. So I'm not sure you ever have your rotation where you feel like you want it. But right now we got a core of kids playing consistently well, and then we're mixing and matching some other kids that one night they're very, very good, and one night they're not quite as good. And that's kind of what you get with a young team. And obviously at junior college level, you're playing with freshmen and sophomores. You're going to have games where you look like you're world beaters, and you're going to have games where you just look like you have never played basketball before. And if we can get that consistency up a little bit better, certainly that bodes well for the rest of the season.
And then after the game on Saturday, what's the break like for you guys?
Well, they're taking off from then until December 27th. That's 12 days, I believe. And last year, I think they sat around on the couch and had cookies because when they came back, they were about in the same shape I was, which isn't very good. So hopefully they'll get some running in and take care of themselves because the majority of the year is yet to come, especially in the conference. But we can't come back out of shape the way we play. It's a tough go if we do. We proved last year that we did come back out of shape and dropped the first 4 league games, and we're out of it right away. So hopefully our guys understand the importance of getting in shape. And, I know you and I will stay in shape during Christmas break, but I certainly hope they do also.
If getting in shape means to gain about 4 or 5 pounds, I'm with you.
Yes, I'm a world-class athlete right now because of that.
Sounds good. Well, good luck on Saturday, and thank you very much. Good start to the season.
All righty, thank you.
You bet. That is Mark Mohl, our head men's basketball coach.